So we open the next drive with a triangle concept, and this is sort of fits right into the things that we're trying to do right now, which is present a power running game and then complement it with edge pressure, and that's going to force the force players in the front and the edge players to kind of be put into no man's land. In particular, we like to emphasize this in the middle of the field. So you get an edge player like this who has conflicting responsibilities. On the one hand, he needs to control the edge on a run play here. On the other hand, he needs to be able to cover the flat. Since we have 3 wide receivers out here, he's got to be able to account for one of these underneath receiving threats. So at the snap of the ball, on the one hand, he's getting outside zone blocking here. That's going to hold him for just a second. He's trying to read the quarterback, though. Once he confirms that's a pass, then he's going to try to close out there. By the time he breaks on this ball, he's not in great position to be able to make a play on the play. You can see here when Shipley gets the ball, he's got a great amount of space, and we're set up pretty well. Marquise Goodwin is a little bit out of position to be able to make his block. Cochran is trying to gain ground on this linebacker, and any interference he can cause for this linebacker is a plus for us. And Davis is in good position for his block. So that quick screen game to the wide receivers is definitely what I would consider part of the quick game. And again, acts as a constraint for any sort of edge pressure and conflicts the edge defenders. So, this is an easy pickup again on first down for us. Getting on schedule first downs really makes this offense dangerous. If Goodwin makes his block on that play, then maybe it gets sprung for even more yards. But as it is, we'll take that 9 yards every time on first down. So second and short affords you opportunities, and here we play action, and we use a slide protection here, which looks a lot like a inside zone play. And again, Cody Johnson coming across to kind of protect that edge for David Ash as he rolls out. Here it looks like between Shipley and Davis that we're running a smash concept. Smash concept is basically when you try to hold the underneath defender, or the corner usually, with a hitch route, and then you run a corner route behind him. And so it's a high-low read on the corner, essentially. And so it's impossible to tell if that's exactly the route, though, because you can't see Shipley's route on this or the replay. So it looks like Ash is reading that corner initially and then looking for the hitch. He doesn't like what he sees in either one of those. We're also dragging the tight end on this route, and that's really what the play action here opens up is, in addition to giving Ash a lot of room to throw the ball, it also is supposed to open up this underneath route to the tight end coming across. Ash just doesn't see any receivers wide open, so he decides to tuck this and run it, pick up the first down that way, which is also, we'll take that. Let's look at this from the end zone view as well. You can see as Ash rolls out here, this is great protection across the line. I've seen some people commentate that they felt like the pass protections weren't that great against Kansas, but I felt like the protections were really strong, albeit against Kansas. But we looked fairly polished in our protections. The few times when Ash got pressure, it was because he held on to the ball too long. So the end of this scramble is one of my favorite moments in the game. You can see Davis coming back and blocking with an attitude here. And surprised he didn't pick up a flag there. I mean, he clearly led with his shoulder and blocked hard on purpose. This next play, I just wanted to highlight the play of Josh Cochran. We're running inside zone here, and we're working combo blocks on the line up to the linebacker level. If you want to see sort of textbook how to play this as a covered player, watch what he does here in combo and working with Snow. So he gets a good punch on the defensive lineman there to allow his teammate, Snow, to get in position to seal that player out of the play, which is exactly what you want. And then beautifully stays in control, works up to the second level. Again, he kind of forces the defender to come to him, and that's really key in zone blocking to utilize your positioning with your teammates to force the defense to come to you and then control the blocks. So he does that here, and that's what creates this beautiful wall here for Fozzie to cut off of and break this play open. Also, key to this play is DJ Grant does a pretty good job on the edge here, which is one of the better jobs he's done on the edge all year. Shipley cuts here, doesn't take the defender out, but creates enough space so that he can't get to Fozzie. And then Davis does a great job of not cutting in space, maintaining his balance, plays chicken with the defender, and that takes that defender out of the play, and it gives Fozzie a moving target to cut off of. So this turns into a huge run as a result of those individual efforts. But Cochran's effort in particular made a huge difference on opening that play up. Just look at it again from the end zone. Again, watch him work here. He punches that defensive lineman, great spacing, and then works to the second level. So just beautiful play on his part, and again, really positive signs in terms of how he's played in his first 2 starts. So we can see the structure of the offense here in these power sets. It's the same thing we've been talking about going all the way back to the spring. Is we want to complement this inside-outside pressure then with vertical pressure in the passing game, and that's what this part of the offense is really all about setting up. And so we saw our first shot deep here off a play action fake on the jet action, and then we also fake the inside zone here. Again, using a slide protection and beautiful pass protection here from the offensive line. And then we take a shot deep. This is all playing off of the adjustments from the defense to the jet action. One of the things we're seeing is when we use jet action, a lot of times defenses are adjusting on the third level of their defense. So here, you see the safety coming down in the box, and we're getting a 2-on-2 in the vertical passing game. And so that's what this is all about, is then taking a shot in a one-on-one coverage. So that's something that we had success at early in the season, and now we're trying to come back and reestablish that. The only complaint I would have about this ball is that if Ash throws us a little bit more to the open field here and leads Davis a little bit more in this direction rather than deeper, we might get the touchdown, but it's still a well-thrown ball. I thought Davis could have timed just jump a little bit better. It's also just really good coverage from the defensive back there. So those opportunities are going to be there for us if we continue to run the ball and work our inside-outside constraints on the defense. Then we'll have these play-action opportunities. We just need to do a better job of capitalizing on them. So we mentioned it earlier, but the other aspect of our game that we developed against Kansas was our screen game, and we really incorporated it a lot. You could see at times we were just running it to practice execution rather than to beat a call. In this case, though, it's 3rd and long, and Kansas is bringing pressure in the front. So we run this little in route against man coverage to run the corner off, and then that leaves a huge vacated area here. So great job by Ash here of selling the screen and then getting this pass over the defenders. Just barely gets it over, and Fozzie does a great job of reeling that ball in. Notice the great job here that Espinoza also does of getting downfield. Fozzie catches that ball. Espinoza is, almost 10 yards downfield at that point, so that's great. And we have an easy time getting the first down here as a result. So the screen game is really important for us because, obviously one of the things that we're struggling with is protecting in obvious passing situations. If you have the screen game well installed, then it creates a difficult time for the defense if they're trying to bring extra pressure because you have that built-in constraint. And it's a check that we can go to. if we see that the defense is bringing pressure, and that's really the key to being able to check into a screen when a defense has a pressure call on. So let me come on back in big personnel in the next play, and I had to show this play because I've been calling for Berryhill to get a more expanded role in the offense all year. And he gets his shot in this game and didn't have necessarily a great game. This is one of the plays that wasn't so great for him. He whiffs on his assignment here on the power play, and you can see everything else in the power play is going pretty nicely here. You're going to get Allen releasing up to the second level and dominating the middle linebacker here. And then you also get Pullman really sealing this defensive end with authority. So that aspect of the power is great. I'd like to see the puller here maybe pull around wider there. Oh, that's a really wide pull for Snow at that point. But in particular, you'd like to see that block from Berryhill make contact, and then possibly Brown has a running lane right here, and the defensive back's going to have to work through that block from Berryhill to make the play in the hole. Instead, you've got a free defender, and that allows that Brown has to avoid, and that allows the defensive back to square up on him and make the stop. So here we come back to our outside run constraints on our inside runs, and we fake the end around here to Goodwin, and then we're giving off to Malcolm Brown here on the inside zone. So this is the flavor of inside zone where we're dragging this blocker across, and that's Grant in this case. And a couple things to note on this play, if we go back to the snap of the ball. First, let's just pay attention to Cochran again on this play. Ideally, he wants to get his helmet to the outside of this defender, but the defender is playing contain here, and so the defender wants outside positioning. So rather than fighting for a block that he doesn't have, Cochran adjusts, and then he just seals that player out of the play and creates, instead of the hole being sort of the cutback lane being outside here, the cutback lane instead will be between him and the guard. The one thing is that Grant doesn't get on the same page as him, so Grant sort of is looking for an edge defender, while the force player has come upfield to protect against the end around. And that leaves no one on the edge, so he's a little bit confused about who to block. If he just turns upfield here, or ideally what he does is read this block from Cochran and turns up in the hole right here and seals the linebacker, then this play has a chance to break for even more yards. As it is, Brown makes about an 8-yard gain out of it, so definitely a successful play. There's one other thing I wanted to look at on this play. If you watch the linebacker of Kansas here, you get to see something kind of amusing. We take it for granted that linebackers can read the play and see it. And so it looks like the linebacker has diagnosed the run here. But then at the end of the play, he just sort of takes off into space and pushes Grant in the back. This might be one of the reasons why people say, don't grade our performance against Kansas, or it's not a good standard to look at us against. Because you end up with plays like that. There's actually a play like that earlier with the safety where he just sort of bizarrely runs to the outside instead of making the tackle.